Today's story is Sloth Slept On. He wasn't like any other creature we had ever found in the backyard. We asked him his name. We asked what he was doing up in our tree. But there was no answer. He was asleep. We had lots of questions, so we set off to find some answers. First, we asked Dad what he thought, but he was busy. We looked in all the books we could find. They were full of pictures and words and places and things, but there was nothing that looked like our new friend. We knew he wasn't an elephant. He didn't have a trunk. He wasn't a tiger either. He didn't have any stripes. He wasn't a horse. Or a bear. He let out a loud snore. He was still asleep. Perhaps he didn't belong in our backyard at all. Maybe he had traveled for a very long time, from somewhere far away. Houston, this is Mission Control. Mission Control. Houston, do you copy? Maybe he was a ferocious pirate. Yarr! Who had been sailing the seas and was sleepy from all his adventures. He might even be a brave knight who was exhausted from spending all his time fighting dragons. Look! He is not an elephant or an astronaut or a pirate or a knight. He is an animal called a sloth. We learned that our friend usually lives in the beautiful rainforests of Central and South America. This sloth is a type called a three-toed sloth, who uses his strong grip to stay in the trees. Sloths move very slowly. This sloth is a very sleepy animal. He can sleep hanging in a tree for up to 20 hours a day. Sometimes a sloth lives in the same tree in the rainforest for years at a time. The rainforest has all the things that a sloth likes to eat best, such as leaves, fruit, twigs, and even bugs. The rainforest sounded wonderful. We decided there was only one thing to do. We found a nice big box and used all the stamps we could find. We packed him some lovely leaves to eat and toys for the journey. We were so happy the sloth had come all the way from the rainforest to visit. We would miss him lots, but we were glad that he would be waking up back where he belonged. Except for this one minor problem, he was missing from the zoo. Yeah, about that. Deep in the rainforest, the sloth finally stirred. He had been having the most wonderful sleep. He slowly lifted his head, looked around, and said, "Excuse me, which way is the zoo?" "Oh no! They sent Sloth to the rainforest. He was supposed to go to the zoo." What are you gonna do? What's great about this story is how the children who find the sloth are so resourceful. They turn to so many different ways to try and get information about where sloth came from. At first, two of the children come up with a whole bunch of different theories or ideas about where the sloth came from. Maybe he was a pirate. Maybe he was a knight. Maybe he was some animal that they hadn't thought of. And then they even use all that information to say, well, he can't be a tiger, he doesn't have stripes, can't be an elephant, he doesn't have a trunk. So they're thinking about this. Really important to think critically about questions that you don't have answers to. One of the children in the story, however, is very resourceful. And this child looks through books and tries to figure out exactly what the sloth is. If you can't find the information, there's always a whole bunch of answers out there. You just got to find the right places, whether it's in a book or on the internet or maybe from an adult who can help you find the right answer. The answers can be found if you just give it enough time and put in the work and effort to find it. So I love how they start with creativity and thinking about, well, it could be this, it could be that, and they start eliminating certain answers, and then they use evidence and information that they find from people who have the answers to come up with a final answer of, oh, he's a sloth. So I challenge you to first always think through questions you don't know, and then turn to places where you can find the correct answer, like maybe a trusty internet site or a book written by someone who has professional knowledge of that. And you can find the answers for lots of different things out there. Hope you enjoyed Sloth Slept On.